이스라엘 쥬이시 에이전시는 열방에 흩어진 유대인 귀환과 정착을 담당하는 이스라엘의 가장 큰 유대 기관입니다. 국내에서 이스라엘 쥬이시 에이전시를 향한 여러가지 논란과 루머들이 있는데 이에 관한 의문을 해소하기 위해 이스라엘 쥬이시 에이전시의 크리스천 프렌즈 부서에서 약 6년간 고문으로 일하고 있는 저스틴 볼랜드'와의 인터뷰를 진행했습니다. 크리스천의 입장에서 바라본 쥬이시 에이전시의 내부 모습은 과연 어떨지 속속히 한번 파악해 보도록 하겠습니다.
My name is Justin Boland. I am the Christian advisor here at the Jewish Agency of Israel. My wife and my 3 kids and I moved here to Israel almost 6 years ago to help Devor Ganani, the Jewish Agency, to build bridges of friendship between the Jewish Agency and Christians who they heard love Israel. Back 6-7 years ago, this was a new initiative of the Jewish Agency, reach out to Christians and begin working with them more closely. And so I came here to lend my knowledge of Christianity to the Jewish Agency. I should note that I'm not Jewish. I am a Christian from Texas, from America. I'm a Christian inside the offices of the Jewish Agency. So for many of my Jewish coworkers, I'm the first Christian that they've really spent time with and gotten to know. And every day I have the honor, privilege, show what a Christian is to my coworkers and the security guard and people here inside the Jewish Agency. And so at first, working here, they were like, don't show him anything, don't give him any information, stay away. It was very like, I could feel the us, there's us and then there's me. We were very divided. But over time, probably took about 2 years for them to get to know me, to see my heart, and really what all this together with the work Devor and I are doing in bringing Christians here to the headquarters of the Jewish Agency. And they would come to Ben Gurion Hall and they would pray and they would sing songs. Slowly, it's changing the perception of how Jewish people see Christians, especially as Christians are supporting the efforts. They're giving dollars to the Jewish Agency and to help with Aliyah. This makes no sense in Jewish people's minds because all Jewish people have been taught and all they know is what happened in the Holocaust and what happened in the Spanish Inquisition. In their minds was done by Christians. Christians in their minds don't do anything good. They just take. So it's important that we as Christians give back. And so having this office of Christian friends, the Agency, Christians getting more and more involved. It's really changing the way that Jewish people see Christians, and it's bringing Jews and Christians closer and closer together, where they had been very separate. Israel is home to Jewish people and no one else. And so the state established a law really based on coming out of the Holocaust, and it's called the Law of Return. And this Law of Return says that anyone who is a Jew can immigrate to Israel. And they purposefully didn't define who a Jew is. So as the years went on, this became a matter of the Supreme Court of Israel's decision based on various cases defining who is a Jew and who is not a Jew. And so now the Law of Return says that if your mother or father or grandmother or grandfather is Jewish, just one of those, then you are Jewish and you can make Aliyah to Israel under the Law of Return. And your spouse can make Aliyah and your children. And this is the law that the Jewish Agency operates under. The Jewish Agency can help any Jew who has one mother, father, grandmother, or grandfather who's Jewish to make Aliyah. Ethiopians, and we have most recently the B'nai Menashe. So these are 2 groups that are not eligible for Aliyah under the Law of Return. Why? Because they don't have a mother, father, grandmother, grandfather who is Jewish as the law defines Jewish. a rabbinic council from the government is sent to the place like Ethiopia, and they observe people's Jewish practices and their Jewish life. Are they eating kosher? Are they doing the Jewish prayers? Are they keeping the festivals like the Ethiopians? And the same situation with B'nai Menashe. This process has been a many years and years long process. Trips being made by rabbis back and forth to, over a long term, determining these people are living a Jewish lifestyle. Their children are also raised in this Jewish community. So a special decision is made by the government to allow these people to come to Israel. They come to Israel not as those who are considered Jewish. They come to Israel under a special provision government of Israel makes. Once they arrive in Israel, they must go through conversion in order to then make Aliyah to Israel and become a citizen. Because only Jewish people can make Aliyah and become citizens of Israel. When they come to Israel and they go through conversion classes, this is where they learn about Jewish prayers and the Jewish festivals, how to live a Jewish lifestyle. There's no pressure, there's no force. It's classes you go to learn more about Judaism, and they will become Jewish in the eyes of the state of Israel. There's no forced conversion. There's no nobody's making anyone do this. In fact, even within Judaism as a whole, there's not any sort of motivation to go make more converts of Judaism. It's not the motivation at all. Within Christianity, we have the gospel of the kingdom, and we want to advance it throughout the world. In Judaism, this is not the case in any way. It's not within the framework of religion. If a person voluntarily wants to become Jewish and is seeking to become Jewish, there's not Jewish evangelists going out there trying to get people to convert in any way. A person must seek out conversion, and they must pursue it on their own in order to show their willingness and their heart to become Jewish. That's the case with the B'nai Menashe and the Ethiopians. They go through classes. They learn about Jewish prayers, the Jewish life. At the end of the classes, then they are considered Jewish. Then they get their stamp of Aliyah, and they can become full citizens of the state of Israel. Korean Christians are our biggest supporters and our biggest donors. I've never seen such love and action working together. Not only do you love and you pray for and you cry over Israel and the Jewish people, but you are so quick to support and give. It puts my American Christians to shame in so many ways. I just want to say thank you 1,000 times to my Korean Christian friends. It's such an honor to represent you inside Jewish Agency as a Christian. I'm here watching what the Jewish Agency does and who does what and where the money goes, and I can say without any hesitation, this is a very well-run organization. Financially, the money is used exactly where you want it to go, to help in the Aliyah program or the activities in the FSU, or Ethiopians. Wherever you give and wherever you designate, that's where the money is given and that's where the money is used. And so it's with a pure heart and with joy that I can say this is a great place to donate money and to give to. And you as Christians have done so much, and you continue to do so much. And so I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. Israel is getting better as the years go on. And as we believe and we pray for and we see the physical restoration of Jewish people to the land of Israel, we pray and contend for a spiritual restoration, because that's the other half that God said he would do. As we work to build Israel and bring Jewish people back, we are praying for the same spiritual restoration of Israel, because this is what God said he would do. and God is faithful to his promises. So let's continue, and we will help Israel shine brightly as a light unto the nations.
나는 너희의 여호와 하나님, 내게 준 약속 한순간도 잊은 적 없고, 다시 너희를 이스라엘로 부르기 나와